Welcome to the next episode of the Iowa Girls Wrestling Stories podcast, now partnered with Chain Wrestling. Today I'm really excited to have four-time state place winner, 2022 state champion for Ridgeview. She goes by many names, Izzy, Bella, Izzy Deeds, but I like to just call her Isabella. How are you doing today, Izzy?
I'm good.
Good. So, how was Christmas for you? Did you get everything from Santa that you wanted?
Everything and more.
Everything and more. Just a great Christmas, huh?
Oh yeah.
So, you were home a few weeks ago and you did a clinic with Nadine on, becoming official. You're actually a licensed official in the state of Iowa. How was that course and what did you learn anything new about wrestling that you didn't know? Because I know I think of anytime I deal with officials, I learn something new all the time. So, how was your experience with that?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's always so great to see Nadine. I love her, but no, yeah, it was a good little experience. I definitely did learn a few things, and then obviously learned all the new crazy rules that they got going on. But it was a fun experience, and then getting to spend time with Nadine and just becoming an official and being able to give back to the sport.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I think that's something that we need to do a lot more of. You know, you did go to college and you're wrestling in college, but not everybody takes that route. And, so
Mhm.
I think, it gives people an opportunity if they just think about officiating, gives them an opportunity to give back and still be involved in the sport and actually make pretty decent money doing it. So yeah, I wanted to make sure we threw that in there. So you're at Hastings College, way out in the middle of nowhere of Nebraska and stuff. So, what is the day in the life of a college wrestler?
It's pretty basic. We got our daily morning practices and then we'll find our way to class. Got to throw in your meals and whatnot. And then we'll have lifts some of those days. And then it just reoccurs over and over and over again.
So you
Pretty
guys do
simple.
you, yeah, you're doing morning practices then for the women's team.
Yep.
Yep. So
And then,
that's I guess that's good and bad. You get practice out of the way, but you also I know how much you like to lay in bed. So
yeah. I mean, I discovered that I enjoy it a little bit more because it starts my day off and then I'm not lazy in my bed all day doing nothing. I'm being productive instead of doing nothing. Gets me out of bed, wakes me up, and so I'm ready for the day. So it's
very
kind of
nice.
nice.
Awesome. And you told me you got one-on-ones about once a week and
Yep.
I'm guessing, film involved in that. College probably
Yep.
gets a little bit more into that than I ever did because I just never felt like I had time. How many hours are you taking for classes this semester? Or I guess, yeah, you're done with this semester.
Yeah. Last semester, I actually was, staying pretty simple. I didn't want to like overdo it. Izzy doesn't like school, so I wanted to like, figure out what I was doing. And I'm still unsure of what I'm doing in school, but I was taking 12 credits, I think, which was three classes, and we're block scheduling, so I had two classes the first block, and then the second block I only had one, so I had a lot of like downtime and whatnot. But this next semester I switched my advisors over to elementary ed, so I'm going to start taking more classes in that sense because I'm leaning more towards the elementary education side.
Oh, very nice. You get a teacher coach coming back maybe to Iowa. I don't know. Maybe you'll fall in love with middle of nowhere Nebraska. Who knows?
Mhm. Oh, people are still trying to convince me to love Nebraska, but I haven't gotten on that train quite yet.
Yeah, I went to school in Nebraska too, and my parents lived there for a few years. I couldn't quite do it, but
Yeah.
it's honestly I don't think I ever went to Hastings other than my brother played football for Concordia, so I know I went there to watch some football games, years and years ago. But I don't know if I've even been to Hastings for wrestling because at the time when I was wrestling in college, that wasn't part of the GPAC didn't exist and stuff. And
Yeah.
then when I was helping coach in college, the GPAC was there, but I don't remember dueling Hastings even at all. So I don't think I've ever actually I don't know if I'd ever remember being in Hastings or not, but I'll have to make it there for a duel sometime one of these
My,
days. So how did you get started wrestling? How did that come about? Because I didn't know yet those days.
Well, I was around eight. I really, every time somebody asks me this, I really don't know the right answer or remember exactly why, but I've always played the sports with the boys. Like I played football. Started playing football, and then that same fall or whatever, Gavin Wig, Gavin and Cody, they were kind of like a big inspiration for me. And then I went over and started doing little youth practices with Tyler Schubert and Cody Wig and all them. And I fell in love with it instantly. But I tell people I like to make the boys cry.
Very nice. Yes, and you've done that a few times. I've been around for that.
Like,
Yeah, because I've got to be on all sides of the of wrestling with you because I believe I coached against you in middle school because I was helping at South Central Calhoun. I got a coach for you at Ridgeview, and now I just get to be an Izzy Deeds fan. I get to watch Izzy from a whole different place, and so that's pretty cool. So as far as the Ridgeview experience, we'll start with when we were still not sanctioned and with the boys. Why don't you talk a little bit about the whole Ridgeview room and how
I don't
things
know.
went?
It's always just been a great environment to be around. Like there wasn't a day that the boys didn't accept me. Like me and Tatum have been wrestling with those same boys since we were super young. And so they never knew anything different. So I think that really helped our cause. But like I wanted to go back. Like the boys wanted to help us get better. They did help us improve their strength compared to ours, their technique, whatever. We learned a lot through the boys, and it was always just a great room to continuously go back to and get better.
Yeah, yeah, and you spent, man, you fluctuated so much in weight in your wrestling career. I mean, it's been crazy, So the first year I believe you were like a 135, might have been
Yeah,
138 even with on the
130.
boys side. And then wrestled the tournament, the IWCOA tournament 135, and let's see, we got third place as a freshman, which was
Yep,
was a pretty good, not bad. And I know you were a
could have
little upset about that, but and
been
then
better.
then the next year we come back and we're wrestling at 152 on the boys side, which I strongly warned you against wrestling boys on that side, but we argued all the time about that,
Yeah,
and I usually lost, so that's all right. But then that was the year you won your state title and stuff.
yep.
And then there's something else that went on that whole year and kind of cool. The unsanctioned series videos and stuff. What was it like to have a camera on you pretty much the entire time you wrestled for an entire year?
I definitely love looking back at those videos. Like it was like just a big thing. And it was like one of the bigger years for me because I was coming back from an injury. And so I kind of like missed out on a lot that year. And just being able to watch like the progress I made throughout that year and then being able to go and win a state championship. I mean, there's definitely like a little pressure, because then everybody's obviously going to see you and how you wrestle, how you do, whatever. But like I more so took it as like a big moment to go back and look on the progress I made and how far I continued to move forward, whether I was injured or not.
Yeah, I know when Clayton and I were talking, and he said he didn't know the direction that unsanctioned was going to go. He's like, what if we get down to state and nobody wins anything? He's like, what if nobody places? He's like, I don't even know what my film's going to be about. So you helped a guy graduate college, so you can feel good about that. So it
Yeah,
made the story have a great ending to that and stuff, and that was pretty cool. It wasn't even the state finals match that was the real difficult match.
yeah.
It was our the semifinals match was really honestly, I was worried. I even know you were worried about it, which doesn't happen
I
very often.
definitely was
'Cause
nervous.
yeah, because and that's where the whole Izzy F and Deeds came from. And I've even
It,
seen Aaron Gerlich wear the Izzy F and Deeds shirt, so I don't feel so bad
yeah,
about making them.
as-
So, just you want to tell the story a little, kind of about that, kind of how we approach that, and I'll pipe up a little bit too, and we'll just tell everybody the fun part of that story.
well, obviously I made it to the semifinals. Would you say I made it to the semifinals pretty smoothly? It was a pretty smooth
Yeah,
run. Yeah.
I
Um,
think there was one little elbow issue. I think we had to retape and get some ice one time.
yeah. But no, yeah, I think it was a pretty smooth run to the semis, and then obviously we knew we were probably going to run into Avila, and once we got there, whatever, I was doing good. And then once we got close to match time, I started getting super nervous because, like, obviously I didn't want to let myself down or go out there and fail or whatever. But obviously, looking back on it, that was stupid to think that it's bad to fail or whatever because we all do it. But and we were standing there, and Izzy was just all nervous, whatever, doing her thing. And at one point, you started talking to me, and then uh, telling me who I am, and then you pull out the your Izzy F and Deeds, and the rest was history from there. And then I went out and wrestled super good, and then I pinned her and
Yeah. Yeah.
myself
And
to it.
and and your mom heard you about three or four, 20 rows up. Actually, I won't say three or four because she was probably 20, 25 rows up and she heard you yell.
Celebrated. Yeah,
Yeah. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, actually the question I believe you asked me was tell me why I'm going to win this match.
yeah. That I think that was it. Yeah,
And that's where I said, well, the only thing I could think of, I was like, well, you're Izzy F and Deeds. That's the only
yeah.
reason I could come up with. So, no, it was really cool. That was a really cool experience. And so far in my coaching career, that's the only time I've got to put the medal on somebody, on standing on the podium like that. So, always remember
Mm-hmm.
that. And then of course we had the finals win, and I've had a million people ask me, was that throw planned? And I will never let them know. I don't
I was
know if
gonna
it
say
was or not.
keep that one a secret.
Yeah, we don't know. It was a good throw though. It was a great
Yeah,
throw. So
always.
so that really, that was a pretty fun year.
Yeah,
Come back the next year, and I believe God, I don't know what'd you wrestle 140 that year,
yeah, I believe so.
and that's when we had a lot of injuries, didn't we? Yes. I mean, it was you. That's part of your high school career, though. You've been plagued with injuries and fought back through them every time, and just it's tough, and it's probably really draining mentally and stuff. But you come through it, and you'll be a stronger, better person. So, no, and then
Yep.
you had a rough junior year. I think you got fifth your junior year, um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you wrestled Peach in the or semifinals. And honestly, afterwards, I know that you were upset about it, but weren't upset about the match because I think you were more upset that you might have like ended your wrestling
Yeah,
career.
really
Yeah,
glad I re my shoulder that I probably came back and started wrestling too early. But no, yeah, I was more upset about that. Like I could have cared less that I lost to Emma Peach. She's a wonderful person and a great wrestler. But
yeah,
no, yeah, more scared than upset that I lost the match. So
yeah. But then came back and placed fifth, which is always good to end the tournament on a win. And then your senior year, I probably wasn't the results you wanted. But I would say that I think that was some of your best wrestling that tournament. Getting fourth, losing to Melee, which was a great match. And
yeah.
either one of you two could have ended up in the finals. And actually, both of you, that could have been a finals match. Because I think between the two of you, there was maybe 4 points difference in the
Oh no.
semifinals matches. So honestly, I think that was some of your best wrestling. I've talked to other people about this, and I think Destiny maybe benefited the most, but I don't know if was a better group of three wrestlers in any wrestling room your senior year with you, Tatum, and Destiny. And how do you think that helped prepare you for the year?
Just knowing I consistently had a good partner in the room and somebody who wanted to get better themselves, but also helped me get better in the room. And I also think that having us three in the room also made our team such a stronger team. But no, yeah, I think really just having them there as super duper close friends, and then knowing that I want to get better, they want to get better, so we're pushing each other every day in practice. I think that helped us all get there.
Yeah, there was some fun. I got to watch some fun wrestling every day at practice. I could look over that little
Yeah,
corner and watch some pretty outstanding wrestling going on and different styles because all three of you have a completely different style. So it really prepared you well to wrestle a lot of different people. Um,
yeah.
I know you mentioned over the last break that you might be going up a weight class or two here. How is that going? And how's, what's your thoughts on, I guess, moving weight
I,
classes again?
I mean, honestly, I'm here for it, but at the same time, I mean, I'm kind of struggling with the whole trying to gain weight or whatever. I'm super excited to see what could come out of it. Obviously, I want some bigger muscles on me, and I think that I could be super duper successful at the new weight, but right now it's kind of slow. I got concussed right before Christmas break, so that was kind of tough, but it was my last match of the day anyways, and whatever. Izzy comes back from all those things.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm definitely excited about it and I want it to work out. So I'm hoping that it goes that way.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's gonna be a lot of lifting and a lot of different things going on just because we got to gain about 15, 20 pounds somewhere in there.
And I told myself that if I can get up to mm, 55, I'll be solid. I don't need to be 160, but if I'm
Yeah.
putting on muscle, then 55 is just fine. But I'm kind of struggling with that part of it right now. So I'm hoping that I can start progressing with that. So we'll
Yeah, because
see.
you went from a senior year of being a 135 pounder, and I think maybe even at state you weighed in at probably somewhere around 33,
Yeah,
so to get back to 55 is a pretty
I
big
was going to
jump.
say, and I've still been super light lately. Well, and what's funny is that when I was talking to my coaches about it or whatever, I like 2 weeks before that, I was cutting down to 38 to wrestle
Uh,
38. And then we have this conversation. It's like, oh, that's weird. I was just trying to cut. So, I mean, really just trying to worry about putting on more muscle and getting myself up to that level, I guess, because it's 100% definitely different. Like the girls are definitely stronger, and in college, obviously, the women are going to be more matured or whatever. So, like, it's definitely a tougher weight class, but also I think it's a good weight class for me.
Oh, I think so too. I think you wrestle really well at that weight class. I look at like Abby McIntyre going up from, the 38 in high
Mm-hmm.
school to wrestling 170, and she doesn't really have the frame for 170 either, but boy, she got
Yeah,
thick. She's been
yeah,
lifting. So yeah, I think you have definitely that's the weight you won your state title at. So
yeah.
you're used to it. You'll get back up there. So
No,
I've been talking to a lot of girls from all over the state and stuff, and I really like talking to girls that are, from the smaller schools. What are some of the other things that you got to do just because you were at River Valley, wrestled for Ridgey, but you're at River Valley, which is a very small school, and I think I saw you even out on the football field once or twice your senior year. So, what are all the activities you were able to do in a 1A school that, obviously if you were a 3A, you probably wouldn't have been doing?
I was able to play softball. I was playing basketball up into my eighth grade year, but then obviously wrestling was more important to me. So then that came. I basically played all the sports until I got into high school, and then it kind of just went to football, softball, and wrestling. And then I got injured, so then I skipped out my sophomore year, I believe, of football. But no, yeah, and it's definitely I will say I like smaller schools more because obviously all the teammates and whatnot we're all closer, and I feel like it's honestly more competitive that way.
Yeah. And you chose kind of a small college also. How
Yeah.
how did you get out to Hastings? Why don't you tell us a story about that?
Well, so I got invited to go wrestle in France. Super fun trip. It was definitely a new experience and probably once in a lifetime experience for me, anyways. But we get down there, whatever, and we get to meet the coaches and whatnot. And Coach Kara was actually ended up being one of my coaches down there, and she basically was the coach that coached me throughout that tournament. Um, there was some other things that were going on, and so she ended up just being my coach until obviously the finals and whatnot. And she was talking to me about how she was the coach at Hastings and whatnot, and that she wanted me to come out there on a visit. And so we stayed in touch after the trip. Um, and whatnot. And then I went out there on a visit and I instantly fell in love with the campus and the environment and her as a coach and as a person. And I basically decided that that was the place for me.
Felt like home, huh?
Yep.
Yep. And you said it still feels like home, so that's a good deal. Well,
Yeah.
you brought up France. So why don't we talk a little bit about your experiences like with AAU? I know you're a multiple time AAU state champion. I don't even know how many times.
I also don't. I kind of lost track and stopped counting at
Yeah.
that point.
Did you
But
wrestle on the boys' side too? Did you
I
ever wrestle
did.
the state on the boys?
Yeah, I did. I think I qualified maybe two, 3 times, probably two, I think maybe. But no, yeah, I qualified for the boys that many times or whatever. But I think I either maybe won one match each year and then lost the next two or whatever. But I mean, that was also an experience for me. Just I mean, and I felt good about it because obviously it's hard to make it to AAU boys state.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's that's not an easy task for
yeah.
anybody, let alone, girls wrestling on the boys' side.
Hmm.
I know you did Twin River duels a number of times.
Yeah.
What's your experience with Twin Rivers? I That's one of my favorite tournaments.
I
I love that
yeah,
tournament.
I definitely love that tournament. Yeah, every year you kind of get placed on a different team with maybe a few different girls. Maybe you have some of the same girls, and a lot of these girls you become friends with, and then you stay in touch with them. So it's always nice getting to see all those girls again. And then the teams are just always so team oriented, and so that's always fun. Like it's just a fun tournament to be at. Fun people to be around, and it's always also competitive, obviously. But it's more so just a super fun tournament. You get to meet a lot of new people. You get to see friends that you haven't gotten to see. But no, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites.
And I think you went to Scholastic Duels 3 times, or was it 4 times you went down to Scholastic Duels?
Mm,
I'm trying to remember myself.
me too, because I think I skipped a year, and that was the year before last year, I think.
I think
Mm,
because you always had some injury issues and stuff, and stuff like that. So that always affected some of the off season stuff. But
yeah,
you gotta see the tournament prior, in Orlando and the stuff we did there versus going to Fort Lauderdale.
yeah.
And for you, and you're a senior, you're not gonna make the trip again unless you're coaching, which is a possibility too. Um, what did you like about maybe Orlando, but what's compare and contrast? I honestly liked Lauderdale better, but I that was something I enjoyed.
No, I definitely can agree with that. I think I definitely liked Lauderdale more. Um, I don't know what it was about it. I mean, I guess we were kind of like on like the little block of all the tiny stores and stuff when we were right on the beach. I don't know what about it exactly it was, but I definitely think I enjoyed Lauderdale more than I did Orlando. I mean, Orlando was fun, but I definitely enjoyed Lauderdale more. I can't speak apparently, but
That's that's all right. I think maybe it was just the laid back, it was kind of
yeah,
chill. Go out to
that's
the
it.
ocean for, float around the ocean for a while and go down to the shops and eat some pretty cool food. Did you eat at the taco place any at
I
all?
very good, very good.
Oh my God, I'm excited that we're gonna go back to the same spot next year. I'm
Yeah,
gonna eat a lot of tacos.
no, they were. I definitely recommend that place. I don't even remember what it's called, but I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, that was awesome. You went out
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember which tournament you actually go to, but you wrestled for Coach Heather Hetzer.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter, Lyric. I don't know. I'm sure you got
Yeah,
to know Lyric. She got like I don't remember if she won a college tournament the other day or she placed third or something like that at an open.
got third at the North Central Open, I believe.
And what is she like in eighth grade?
Yeah, she's like uh 13, 14, maybe 15, somewhere in
Yeah,
there. Super
nuts,
young.
absolutely nuts.
Very.
I met Lyric at Junior Olympics a long time ago. Like I'm talking when it was in Iowa
Uh-huh.
10 years ago, and she was just a little tiny kid just learning how to wrestle. So it's amazing to see how far she's gone.
No, yeah.
What tournament did you go out to wrestle in out there?
Well, so the first tournament, actually, how I met Heather was because of Morgan Griffin, actually. They were going down to Ultimate Club Duels one year, and Heather needed a weight. I can't remember what weight I was wrestling at, but she told the girls, like, hey, if you know anybody, like, get a hold of them and see if they'll come out. And so Morgan got a hold of me and was like, hey, there's a weight. Heather Hetzer needs somebody to fill this weight, and I was wondering if you wanted to go. It was super last minute, like maybe a week before the tournament. And I talked to my mom, and she's like, "Well, I mean, we can see what we can do." And then so I went out there with Morgan and her mom and wrestled at Ultimate Club Duels. But the most recent one was, I think, yeah, this last April we were at Viper Pit Duels.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of got messed up there. I had big old black eye, couldn't see out of it, and I was concussed. But no, whether I won any matches or not, I'll keep that a secret. I mean,
Wasn't your best tournament, huh?
no, but it was fun. It was an experience, and I wrestled at Viper Pit previously to that when I was wrestling with the Black Mambas.
Yeah.
So this was the second time being over there, and every time, obviously, the competition gets better and better. But I had fun whether or not it was a rough tournament or not. I got to spend time with my mom. We don't get to do a lot of like sightseeing and traveling together when I go to wrestling tournaments across the
Yeah.
states or whatever. But I definitely was happy I got to enjoy some time with my mom, especially since I was leaving for school.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I always was going to ask you about that. I don't think I ever had asked you about that. And then you got on the Mambas team like young, like
Yeah,
seventh or eighth grade, didn't you?
yeah, sometime somewhere in there. Yeah,
That's that, and I think that maybe where some of your experience came from, some of the big jumps in your wrestling came wrestling on pretty high
no,
level
yeah.
teams young. So that's really cool. Um, as far as like high school wrestling, being in our room, is there anything that you took away that whether it's mental toughness, training, whatever, that you're going to use rest of your life, but maybe, for your college wrestling, anything that you can think of that maybe Jason and I did right?
I mean, I would say you guys did a lot of things right. I mean, I've gained so much from the sport of wrestling, and then from just being in that room. Confidence, definitely take that with me. That'll be an everyday thing, obviously, and also helped my college career. The mental toughness, I obviously went through a lot of things, and then you guys helped me through a lot of those things, like injuries, just mental things and whatnot, and my love for the sport or whatever. You guys were always there. You're always somebody we could go to get through those things when we needed the help and whatnot. But no, yeah, just mental toughness, confidence. Um, I don't know. I just learned a lot through wrestling that goes into my everyday life. I can't even
Yeah,
count the amount of.
it's kind of what we are as wrestlers. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish anything else different than that.
No,
I have been trying to talk to people because I've talked to a lot of people in your age group and above, a little bit below too. That yep, we are wrestlers and it's a big part of our life, but it's not everything in our life and stuff.
mm-hmm.
So, is there anything else you like doing outside of wrestling that
I love spending time with my family. I'm a big family girl. I love seeing my babies. I'm a big auntie around here and just my little baby cousins, whatnot. But love spending time with my friends and family. Um, I don't got a lot of like little hobbies, I guess, but more so the bigger things is coming home and being able to see my family and spend time with them, go out, watch movies, um, go out to supper with them or something, just enjoying my time back home with them.
very nice. And so first semester went pretty well. You obviously passed, so that's good. We know we're going back.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of ups and downs, but no, yeah, definitely went better than I would have expected, I guess.
it's good to hear and stuff. So I'm gonna go through just a bunch of just a few different questions, whether or not they get us into a different conversation, that's great or not. But well, a lot of them I asked to everybody. So, if you were going to go on vacation tomorrow, would we go to a beach or hit in the mountains, or is there some place that you've always wanted to go?
Hear me out. I love warmth and I would love to go to the beach, but also I'm a very like scenic kind of girl. I love like pretty sunsets. I love the mountains, and I also really want to go snowboarding. It's really been on my mind lately. Everyone's going on vacation to Colorado and Wyoming to go snowboarding and skiing and whatnot, and I still haven't found myself to the mountains yet, but I would definitely love to go up to the
So,
mountains sometime.
so Izzy's going snowboarding sometime. That's the
Is
that's
it
the
a good?
plan.
Maybe not, but that's the plan.
All right. I like it. I like it. I am gonna stay the hell out of the mountains because I hate the fuck cold. I am not a
Uh,
cold person.
I've lived in Iowa my whole life. I kind of have to get used to it, but if I had to choose warm or cold, it'd be the warmth. But
Yes.
I love the scenery and the mountains and whatnot. But yeah,
So, you're gonna go get a national title. Maybe not this year because we got to get to the weight, but
yeah.
before a national title, we're gonna go out and get a brand new pair of wrestling shoes. What shoes are you buying? What's your favorite wrestling shoe of all time?
I've been really wanting some. I will say I'm usually got some Rudises on JBs, but I've really wanted some Inflicts lately, or I've been really wanting some Freaks. But the shoes I'm wearing now are Rudis, and they've been Rudis for a minute.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've kind of got stuck on the whole Sly Fox, but there's a couple I've got my eye on. I don't know. If I could come
Yeah.
back and get a pair of those Dave Schultz, the old Asics ones with the black and gold or blue and
Yeah.
gold, I'd score me a pair of those. So what's your favorite color? Or what
Blue,
color are we gonna get the blue? You're a blue person. Gotcha.
very
Very
blue.
nice. Very nice. So if we're gonna have a pet, and I know you've had some interesting pets throughout the years, are we gonna have a dog? Are we gonna have a cat? Are we gonna have a potbelly pig? Or are we gonna have a Highland cow, a miniature Highland cow? What is Izzy's choice for a pet?
I'm a dog girly, but I like to bring surprises home to my dad. So I'd probably pick the cow or the pig.
Yeah. Well, you've had a pig. How was Benny?
Benny,
Is Benny still at the house?
no, he's not actually, but he's doing super duper good. He's at Meyer Petting Zoo, so he gets to go to all these little petting zoos, and he absolutely loves it. He's doing good. He gets all the treats. He gets all the love. Definitely miss him, but he's doing good where he's at, and he's still close to home. So if we really wanted to, we could go see him whenever we wanted.
Very nice. I know there was a story you told me about Benny one time while he was online moaning and groaning. You want to tell everybody about the Benny story because I found it pretty funny.
Which one? I'm.
Well, I think he got out in the corn and he wouldn't come in.
Oh yeah, he was mad. So it was when there was some fresh corn out there. I think either they had just harvest, or the there was corn stalks up still. So I actually think that's what it was. Is the corn stalks were still up and whatnot. So there was just corn on the ground and whatnot. But no, he was super mad. He just wanted to be out there and eat all the corn, and so he was coming back to the house all angry, doing his little snorts and whatnot, and he was super mad. He had to come back inside because he couldn't continue to eat all of his corn.
Yes, Benny the pig. What
Fat little
else have
pig.
you? I know you have a dog right now. What's
Yeah, Marley. She's my little
yeah.
white English lab. She's a good girl, but no, she's actually probably out here. Let me call her in here real quick. I'll
All
get her
right.
on.
Yes, I'd love to see Marley.
Marley, come here, Marley. Mar, come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here, Mar.
There she is. I think the last time I saw her, she was not
Yeah.
that size. I
No,
think she was running in the halls at Ridgeview.
yeah, she was just a little puppy, but no, she's a
Yes,
big girl too.
very nice.
Yeah, right. But
Um, got any cats out at the farm too?
no cats. we've definitely had a lot of exotic pets out here, but we got my mom's allergic to cats, so we've never had cats around, I guess. We did have chickens and ducks at one point. We even had chinchillas, and we actually have geckos that live in
Oh,
my
really?
room. Two of
Nice.
them, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what's your favorite genre of music? What do you listen to most of the time?
Well, I'm more of like a not sad, but more in that type of moody music, I guess. But I listen to a lot of country, I would say.
What so it's time to go out and win that national title. What's in the headphones?
See, I'm not loud music like rock or like just like the usual songs people will listen to. They don't really like hype me up. I literally love to like just be calm. I'm not. I obviously I get anxious and nervous or whatnot, but like I feel like I get in my head if like the music's too loud or whatever. But I definitely will say. So I used to not listen to music a lot before my matches in high school or whatever. But now that I've gotten into college, I don't know what it is, but I always have to have my headphones on before. But I'm always listening to quieter, more moody music instead of hype music.
It's really funny that you say that because the more coaches I've talked to, they'll talk about, maybe they listen to some real heavy metal or something like that. But now that they're older and if they were going back, they would listen to what you're talking about, a little something more calm, zen. Adam Hill. Have you ever? Yeah, you've met Adam before.
Yeah,
Adam's like I would listen to something that kind of puts me in that assassin type mood where I just
yeah,
I'm really focused and
yeah,
stuff. So that's kind of interesting because I would have been in high school, college, it'd have been heavy metal for sure, and I'd have been all
yeah.
hyped up. But now a little more zen, a little more chill. So that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So what's your favorite movie?
Um, I probably watch way too many movies to have a favorite movie, but hmm.
What kind of movies?
um, I'm a chick flick kind of girly, like 10 Things I Hate About You, Notebook, but no, I've probably watched just about every movie somebody could think of, I guess. That's what I did when I was a kid, and I still do it now. I watch movies.
That's all right. Yeah, that's funny that you say that because I don't think a lot of people really know Izzy's kind of actually an old softie because you're always
I,
kind of gruff and you put on that face that you're tough, but I've gotten to know over the years you're a big softie
I,
and stuff.
a lot of
So
people, a lot of people think I'm scary, but in all reality, I'm actually probably the least scariest person they will ever meet. So,
yeah. Do you have a favorite TV show? Are you watching any series
um,
right now?
I've definitely found a love for Outer Banks. I really like the series Outer Banks. Just
I've
a,
really gotten into Landman. Have you seen any of that? And then maybe it's
mm-mm,
too much. Maybe it's too middle-aged dude show for you, but it's really good. So if you get an opportunity, maybe check out
might
Landman. Yeah,
might
it's got
have to.
Billy. Yeah, it's Billy Bob's good. Or what's the other Yellowstone? Have you watched any
Uh,
Yellowstone?
my dad and mom are obsessed with that. They're actually watching that together right now. But I've watched a few episodes. My brother's also super into it, but like I guess I never really sat down. I'm not. I hate getting into a show that's got like 17 seasons because I'm the person that has to sit there and basically binge watch every single one of them. Otherwise, I will
Yeah,
forget what I watched. And so I don't really get into like the 17 season episodes unless it's like Criminal Minds or something. I love Criminal Minds, but
yeah. Now that's a good series. That's a fantastic series. Watching Criminal Minds. Have you watched any Dexter?
I have watched some Dexter. Not a lot of it, but I've definitely watched some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife is obsessed. Well, she watches everything. I'm a little worried. So if I'm ever dead, Izzy, let everybody know my wife did it because she watches every single one of those I killed my husband shows and all these different things on how to get away with murder. So if I ever am gone, make sure you let everybody know it's my wife.
All
Um,
right.
if so somehow, because this isn't going to happen because you're wrestling freestyle now, you go back, you're going for a national title, but it's folk style.
Mm-hmm.
And the coin flips and they've taken away defer. So you have to make a choice. What choice are you going to make?
I usually always go down, whether I'm winning or losing. I will usually pick down, but I think I definitely turned into a more neutral person as the time went on. But I knew I was always like 80% sure getting off the bottom. But I think like let's go back to the Janela Vila match, I guess. I think Did we go neutral?
No, you went down.
No, went down. Okay, yeah. I would
Yeah.
probably pick down. Yeah.
Yeah, because you hit a roll because
Yeah.
I think she went neutral.
Yeah.
Either that or you did go neutral because it was 2 periods on her feet and there was no score.
That might have
And then
been.
and then the third maybe she chose top or you might have chose down. I don't know.
I
But there
can't
was a
remember.
roll to a pin. So yeah, I usually felt pretty confident. I never I, as a coach, I don't like to make the decision. And I've talked to other people about this. I like to put that decision in your hands because I want you to feel comfortable. Where am I going to win that? Because if I say, "I'll take top," and you just they're gone, then I feel like I've screwed up as a coach. I'd rather put that decision
Yeah.
in your hands, unless you absolutely don't know. Then I'll make
Mhm.
that choice.
Definitely a few times where I would look over at you and I'd be like down or neutral, and
Yeah.
you just be like, whatever you want. And I go, and I'd be there standing there smiling. I'm like, I don't know. And then it always ends up being down because I guess I've always been like the bottom kind of girly. Like I can usually get out.
Yeah, that was always a strength of yours. Not very many of the girls do we have that as our strength. There's a couple, but not very many of them. Um, last year we did a lot of coloring. Did you partake in a lot of coloring also?
I did. I very much so did. I do like coloring, but sometimes it makes me angry because if I color out of the line barely once, I'm over it. Done color makes me mad. But
I'm trying to
no,
see. We brought the coloring books back out for the last tournament and
yeah.
stuff, or last two things and stuff, and I think it's helped. I don't know. I was just gonna get your opinion on the whole coloring book, all the
I
coloring book stuff.
honestly, I think it like distracted the girls, to be completely honest. Like they were always just more so having fun and not so worried about the match that they have coming up. I think a lot of us have found like the comfort in not thinking about our matches because I think people think way too much about their matches that are coming up. And then they get in their head and then they go out there and wrestle bad because they were so nervous or they were so in their head about winning or losing this match or doing something right or wrong. But I think that definitely helps the girls out. And it I just enjoy coloring. So it obviously kept my mind off of my matches and I was enjoying the time with the girls. Like we were laughing and just having fun instead of worrying about winning or losing.
Very nice. So when you get done with this elementary education and coaching degree, are you going to come take my job from me finally?
Well,
I got to renew. I have to renew my license this year. So I got 5 years and I don't think I could move. I wasn't moving very good last year.
I was
So,
saying,
yeah,
poor Troy's getting old.
and poor Troy's getting old. So
I,
I'm giving you the invite,
I,
put that up there.
I
Um,
will.
I've gotten through my whole list. I don't know if you got anything, but that's what I always leave time for, a little final thoughts. Final thoughts with Izzy Deeds. Why don't you go ahead and take the show?
Um, well, I mean, I think everyone should go out for wrestling. At least try it once in your life. Super fun sport. You learn a lot from it. I've definitely learned a lot from it in the last 10, 11 years, I think it's been. Um, and don't think about everyone else's opinion. I think people worry about people's opinions too much or what they think about them and them wrestling in the sport. Really, with the girls, um, I say just try it. That's my one big thing is try it. Don't care what other people think.
Very good. I love it. Love it very much so. Well, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told you after your very last match. I love you. I'm proud of you. I think it's awesome what you're doing. I'm gonna hit stop on the record, but go ahead and stick around for just a minute or so.